Today I'm going to replace the CV axle for a Nissan Versa 2008. So to do that, I'm going to have to jack the car up, take the wheel off. You're going to need to remove this axle nut. You need a special nut for that. Not special, it's just a little bit bigger. And so first let's jack the car up. Make sure that you check under the vehicle and you're jacking onto the chassis. Solid piece of metal. I'm going to use 22mm to take off the lug nuts. I have an impact wrench, but you don't need an impact wrench. You can do it with a ratchet, or you might need a breaker bar to get enough leverage. Or if you don't have a breaker bar, you can put a pipe on the end of your ratchet just to give you some leverage to take it off. I'm going to use impact wrench. Jack it up so you're a couple of inches off the ground. And then put a jack stand, or if you don't have a jack stand, just put the tire under your car, just in case your jack fails, it falls on the tire. Okay, next, I'm going to get you in a little closer here. See this axle nut over here? First you got to take off this pin. Get a flathead screwdriver. Put it there, bend the pin a little bit. Then with a set of pliers, straighten it out. And just slide right out. Okay, this axle nut is 30mm, so you need a 30mm socket. It doesn't hurt to put a little bit penetrating fluid right there. Wipe that off. Let it sit for 5 minutes or so. And come in there with your breaker bar and release the nut. I'm going to take off the caliper from the rotor just to give me some more working room. Should have been there. You have 2 bolts on the back that are probably 15. Let me see. No, maybe 17. Two bolts, 17mm on the back. I need more leverage. I'm gonna use a bigger ratchet. Okay, got it. Get the one on the bottom. I'm just gonna break it first. That'll come right out. Those are the bolts. That's one. It's two. Now, when you slide this off, you don't want to leave it hanging, because this is the brake line right here. You don't want to damage that. So right now I'm going to put it here, but you need to get something, either bungee straps or put something here and rest it. Alright, I'm going to use some bungee straps. So I strapped that up here. I strapped it on the spring, but that's not going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to take these two bolts that hold it to the shock spring assembly, so that I can move the knuckle around. I'm going to use 22 millimeter. Now you need to hold down one side with 22. That's not gonna work. If you put two wrenches together, like this, you create a long bar that you can get leverage. bolts, nut. Now you want to give this a good tap with a hammer. Screw the nut back on so you don't ruin the threads. And give it a good tap over here. A little bit more. Alright, so this is where we're at now. Now we need to pull this out of the transmission. First I'm going to put an oil pan underneath in case anything drips out. Then I'm going to need a pry bar. Pry it out. Alright, so you get your pry bar under there. You just wedge it in there and hit it with a hammer a couple times. Drip pan here, catch the rest of the oil. That's it. I got it. So there you go. So on mine, the boot was leaking. I got a hole right there in my boot, see? And all that shit comes out. Problem is, you can change the boot, but to change the boot you have to take the whole piece out anyway. And once you have a hole in your boot, dirt gets inside and it starts ruining the gears, the little pins and stuff. So you go through all that trouble to take this out, you might as well just change the whole piece. About $70 piece, and you don't want to do it again. So That's what you got. Now, I'm also going to change the seal that's inside over there, because again, go through all this trouble, take the whole piece out, might as well change the seal. That seal's a real pain in the ass to take out, alright? Alright, I was able to take the seal out using a pry bar. I just got up under there, I just wedged a little bit under there, something like this, you know, and it pried right out now. So this seal, the oil was getting out. Seal now. Now the seal has a spring that keeps it together inside. So that spring goes into the transmission. Push that in with something soft. All right. So this is the new one. This is the new axle. We're gonna slide it in, turn it a little bit to align the pins. Once you got it in place, you gotta hit it in. That sounds pretty good. I just gave it a few taps. I'm gonna go underneath, make sure that it's sitting right on the side of the transmission. Fucking remote start, piece of shit. Alright, that's in place. Now, again, it's not a guess. You hear it click when you hit it in, and you also just flush with the I went on the side and checked this flush. You know what? Before I put all this back together, I'm gonna wash it down with some soapy water because for me, it's dirty. Alright, it's nice and clean. I did it with a rag because I don't have a hose, but if you got a hose, just wet that thing down, put some soapy water and wet it again. You know, all this is made to get wet. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease over here on the pins. Now you just slip everything back in place.
Now I wanna embrace life, you and I side by side, knowing there is more